Rather lads, welcome back to Kossi's Arsenal podcast. My name is Kossi. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in all parts of the world. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a brand new video. This is your preview. Arsenal take on Brighton today in the EFL Cup or the Carabao Cup. Depends on how you want to call it. So our journey to win another trophy begins today. And the question here, guys, is how important should we take the Carabao Cup? Do you want to win it? Should Arsenal disregard it? Should Mikel Arteta actually play the second team, lose against Brighton, and probably get out of this competition, reduce the number of games we are going to play this campaign so that we can focus on the Europa League and the Premier League? Let me know in the comment section below. Is it an important trophy? Is it one that you would prefer Arsenal to win and probably miss out on top four and also miss out on winning the Europa League? Is it a trophy that you really hold in high regard, or is it a trophy where you want every member of the first team to be rotated for Wolverhampton Wanderers over the weekend? Hit the like button, subscribe to the podcast as well. We're very close to 60,000 subscribers, and also let's get this video to 300 likes. Now, the first and foremost, we are at home at the Emirates Stadium. I think it's a very big advantage for Arsenal. Look, it's a cup game. It's only a cup game. If we lost it, I don't think I would be really fuming at Mikel Arteta and the team as well. I think we've really done so far so well, especially in cup competitions. Look at how we've done in the Europa League, almost winning every game in that competition, losing one game to PSV Eindhoven, but that really didn't matter because we finished on top of the table, and that means we won't play the round of 32. We'll play again starting on the round of 16 in the Europa League. By the way, if you didn't know that, topping the group means Arsenal will play the round of 16 and not the round of 32. So this one, Brighton are a very stubborn side. We know that. I think the replacement of Graham Potter in De Zerbi is not any different. They're very stubborn managers. They're very tactical, and I love the way they play. I love the way they set up. I looked at Brighton on a couple of occasions last weekend, the weekend before that, beating Chelsea 4-1. That was a total embarrassment. That was a total humiliation by Brighton. But again, you look at how they play, look at how they set up. It is not by mistake that they're picking up these results. It's not by mistake they're actually winning games at that rate. So how important is this game? In my opinion, Arsenal are unbeaten right now in the Premier League and in all competitions at the Emirates Stadium. I think that's something we want to keep. That's a record Arsenal will definitely want to keep, because if you look at the consistency and how it has actually helped us in terms of going into the next game, going game by game first and foremost, but also that consistency to win this game and then go into the next one hoping you will replicate the results. I think that's something Mikel Arteta will be looking at. We want to hold our home record. We want to keep our home record at least 100%, or even not. If not that, then just make sure we do not win. I think that is how important this game is. But also, if we lost this game, this is me playing devil's advocate here. If we lost this game, it means the number of games we have to play in midweek actually will subsidize substantially. Now, this is something that sounds a little bit stupid for me to say, because this is another trophy that Arsenal could win, but we want to focus on the Premier League. We want to focus on the Europa League. Playing on Thursday and Sunday is already, draining us. I don't want another competition that's going to let Arsenal play in the midweek. So if we lost this game, if we're knocked out by Brighton today, I think that would be a very important key stage in us going on and making wonders in the Premier League, but also in the Europa League. We've seen the likes of Leicester City. When they won the Premier League title, they didn't go so far in all these other competitions. Their focus was on the Premier League. They reached a time where they felt, we can do it, we can win it, we're only going to focus on the Premier League. And they were knocked out of all the other cup competitions, and they eventually won the league. So in terms of the team news on this one, Takehiro Tomiyasu is still being assessed by Arsenal doctors and the physio team to see if he will be available for this game and even over the weekend against Wolverhampton Wanderers. Now, he didn't play in that game over the weekend against Chelsea. Alexander Zichenko's coming back, of course, was a very huge impact there. Without Tomiyasu, you need a player like Alexander Zichenko to come in, step up and step in and give you that classy performance. I think he really did that very well. So Takeru Tomiyasu, according to what I know, the Japanese should not actually be scared. He will be there for the World Cup. He will make it for the World Cup squad. But the last two games for us now before we break off on November the 12th, that is Wolverhampton Wanderers and Brighton. He might not actually be available to play in those fixtures respectively. And then Matana is another big doubt. Now the USA will need him in the World Cup. I'm not really yet sure with Matana whether he will be making it to the World Cup, but one thing I can confirm is just another doubt. I think by the weekend he should be able to come back, and if he doesn't, then in the next 2 weeks when the World Cup starts, he will be able to come back and he will be able to be playing with America. So there are two big doubts for this game. Takeru Tomiyasu and of course Matana. The other player who's Emil Smith-Rowe, not yet. He's not yet there. He's not yet fit. So that much we know. So in terms of who starts in this team, this is where I'm gonna ask you: how many changes should Mikel Arteta make? How big should we rotate, or how strong should we go in this game? In my opinion, if Mikel Arteta thinks winning this game helps us to win against Wolverhampton Wanderers, keep up the motivation levels, the belief, the momentum, the concentration, and do that, then we should go strong. The good advantage here is that Brighton is doing very well, actually better than Wolverhampton Wanderers. So if you beat Brighton in midweek, there is a high chance you will beat Wolverhampton Wanderers as well. We don't want to go into the Wolves game with some kind of disbelief, with some kind of scared mentality, and that's why I think this game is quite important on the other side. So how strong should we go? In my opinion, around 4 to 3 changes should be made by Mikel Arteta. Probably drop Thomas Partey in the midfield, probably drop Gabriel Martinelli, actually Saka as well. Martinelli and Saka, those are the only 2 players I'll drop for now, but the rest of the team should play. So in terms of my starting 11, I'm going to go with Aaron Ramsdale in goal. I think we will all agree that Ramsdale is the only goalkeeper we have right now. With Matt Turner struggling with injury, Aaron Ramsdale is the goalkeeper who will be seeing in goal tonight. We'll play back 4, obviously. At right back, I'm going to go with Cedric Soares, just kind of some kind of rotation. I think with Cedric Soares this campaign, injuries have not actually been, his friend. They've actually kept him very close. I think you keep your enemies closer. So injuries have actually kept him closer than he would have liked. But in such a game, Carabao Cup against Brighton, why not Cedric Soares at right back? I'll keep the same centre back partnership, William Saliba and Gabriel Magalhaes. They're really doing very well. And now that Gabriel Magalhaes is not going to go for the World Cup, yes, there is that kind of hurting. I've seen Mikel Arteta speaking about it, and he said Gabriel is hurt. He's disappointed that he wasn't called up for Brazil, but that gives him another reason to fight and another reason to really perform at a top level. So Gabriel Magalhaes and William Saliba at centre back. At right back, I will rotate Alexander Zinchenko with Kieran Tierney. I think that would actually do very well. I've rotated Ben White. Yeah, he can just have some time to rest. I thought he struggled a little bit in the Chelsea game. Although we won, many people really didn't talk about him, but struggled especially in the first half, giving away those false passes, sloppy in possession, but in the second half he was actually a little bit much better. In midfield, Albert Sambi-Lokonga partnering Granit Xhaka. I think this is a no-brainer. Whenever there is no Thomas Partey, or whenever we decide to rotate Thomas Partey, Lokonga and Xhaka is always going to be the pivot. The problem I have with Albert Sambi-Lokonga, and we talked about it yesterday in that video, when we talked about him going out on loan and do that, is can he actually be a reliable defensive midfielder? That's a big question. All managers want someone they can trust. All managers want a midfielder they can actually put their trust in. Albert Sambi-Lokonga not yet there in terms of winning the ball back, in terms of protecting that defensive cover for the team. I'm not saying he cannot get there, but what I'm trying to say here, guys, is he needs to work on that area of his game as quickly as possible. Otherwise, Arsenal are looking elsewhere at the likes of Danilo, at the likes of Douglas Luiz, and the likes of probably Frank Kessié. If Barca can eventually let him go, if you get someone like that, Lokonga is really going to struggle with game time. But in this game, Albert Sambi Lokonga and Granit Xhaka. Xhaka is in form. Of course, when you play him in that role today, it just allows him to go a little bit high up the pitch, create more chances, get himself into the penalty area, and create for us overloads in the final third. So Fabio Vieira also comes into this starting lineup, by the way. I said not many changes, but I'm looking at myself making over 5 changes. The Fabio Vieira is a player outplay in this one as well. Outplay Reece Nelson. Had a very, very good game, by the way, against Nottingham Forest. And many people thought he should be rewarded with a start against Chelsea, something I really disagreed with, although I didn't make a video on that occasion. But Reece Nelson in this game, he can start. I have no problems with him starting in this game. Beautiful footballer, by the way. I think by the time the season ends, we will have seen the best of Reece Nelson. So Reece Nelson, Fabio Vieira, and Martin Odegaard. That is something I really want to see. That is more of a combination. I want to see Fabio Vieira and Martin Odegaard playing together in the same team. Of course, we know they're quite a little bit more similar, but Vieira is more versatile. We've seen him play where Xhaka plays in that double pivot. We've seen him play on the right-hand side of the pitch, on the left-hand side of the pitch as well, and also down to the middle as a number 10. But of course, I want them to play together tonight. So Fabio Vieira, Martin Odegaard, and Reece Nelson just behind Gabriel Jesus. I think with Brighton, you just need someone to upset them. You just need someone to keep them out of that, comfortable zone. They are very, very deadly, by the way. They have the likes of, the likes of Tariq Lamptey, McAllister, Trossard, and in that midfield, Moises Caicedo. So you don't want to allow them to have the ball, especially a lot of the time. You don't want them to be comfortable in possession, and that is why Gabriel Jesus is a must in this game. He must play in this game if Arsenal want to walk away with any. So that is my predicted 11. I'll probably bring on Saka and Gabriel Martinelli later on in the game if things are actually not going our way. But at the Emirates Stadium, we should be fine. We should be fine. So my prediction in this game, I've gone Arsenal 3, Brighton 2. Arsenal do score the goals, but we can't concede as well. And I think Brighton do have the quality to score at least 2 goals against this Arsenal side. Leandro Trossard to score for me, and McAllister as well. And I'm going to go with Fabio Vieira to have a goal in this game. Xhaka to have a goal in this game as well. I'm losing my bet. I said Xhaka will score 10 goals in the Premier League. How many has he scored? 2, 3. But I know I will win that bet. So, of course, I've gone with 3 goal scorers. I've gone with Odegaard, Vieira, and Xhaka. So I've gone with 3 goal scorers. 3-2 is my prediction, and I think I've really done very well in terms of predicting games and all that, unless I'm no longer on form since I've been away. But the big question, guys, then, how do we beat Brighton? How do we stop Brighton? They're a very dangerous side. I've already told you that under Graham Potter and under Matteo Di Zerbi, there is no big difference. They're very stubborn. They're very, very strong. They're hard to beat, and they're very, very brave. So, if you talk about brave teams in the Premier League, Brentford probably is one of them. But a classic example of a brave team right now is Brighton and Newcastle. So for you to beat them, it's not all about you dominating possession and having your own show. It's a little bit more than that. It's a little bit better than that. You need to work harder. You need to be precise. You need to be clinical, and you need to be very, very, spot on with whatever you do. So with Brighton, I think there are 3 things we have to do. Number 1 is to stop their midfield. McAllister, Caicedo, and Trossard. You need to stop them. You need to stop the activity that happens. They do create overloads in that midfield as well. So we need to stop that one. And number 2, stop Danny Welbeck. You had me right. Now, many people don't actually rate Danny Welbeck, including Kossi here, but the amount of work he's done at Brighton, the improvement he's done at Brighton, the way he's actually become a better player amuses me and actually shocks me. So stop Danny Welbeck, those runs in behind, those runs off the shoulders, and then those runs that drag your players, that drag your centre-backs out of position, allowing the likes of Trossard and McAllister space to run into. You've got to stop that. You need to stop Danny Welbeck. Absolutely destroyed Chelsea. And I thought Graham Potter would be very aware of the movements and danger of Danny Welbeck, but he wasn't actually aware. So I think that stopping Danny Welbeck is something we have to do. And finally, keep winning at home no matter the competition. I think that's one thing I wanted to say at the end of this video, and I finally said it. No matter the competition, no matter the game, whether it's a friendly, whether it is a charity game, we are in very good form at the Emirates Stadium. That only pushes us to win, but then it gives us another reason to keep on winning. You want to make the Emirates Stadium a fortress. Clubs like Liverpool, clubs like Manchester City have gone 40 games plus, 50 games plus without losing at the Anfield, at the City of Manchester Stadium or the Etihad. And that shows you, that really brings the picture of why they've been successful and how they've been successful over the past years. The moment you keep on winning at home, it just gives you that kind of braveness, that kind of momentum to go out on the road and start winning games as well. So for me, Arsenal 3, Brighton 2 tonight. We start our journey to win the EFL Cup. Could we win the quadruple? No one has talked about that. But probably if we win 2 games in the EFL Cup and 2 games in the FA Cup, Arsenal could be looking at winning the quadruple. So can we do it? Can we win the quadruple? Let me know in the comments box below, and I'll speak to you very, very soon. As always, hit the like button and come on you, Gunners.